All right. Hello. Welcome. This is definitely my first time doing this, and I did not record a video where I was silent for like 10 seconds right before I uploaded this. Um, oh, forgot that was on. My name is. I'm wondering if, like, hey, I should probably just use my real name. My name is Brandon. Um, Unemployed, all good. This is the first of my daily unemployment blogs, and I'm just gonna try and keep these up. Maybe I won't, maybe I will. Just wanted to talk about some things and I don't know, dive into it. Today I wanted to talk about storytelling because what I'm spending a lot of my time doing while I'm unemployed is writing stories and playing D&D. It's one of the things I love to do. The thing in general, I guess if I wanted to go in depth on storytelling, I don't know if I really want to do these going in depth on stuff. I just kind of want to sprawl out my thoughts. Anyways, we're a minute in and I haven't even said anything useful. So let's talk about storytelling and specifically like setting up like the structure of a D&D story because that is hyper exciting to me. One of my favorite things to do. Um, I think one of the biggest problems people have when they go into like D&D stories and they get ready to DM a campaign, they have this start to finish like in their head mindset. And this is not talking about I'm not talking about the modules that people use, like Tales from the Yawning Portal or something like that. I'm talking about when people are homebrewing their campaigns and telling a completely original story. They'll have this start to finish idea of like this is where the story needs to go. This is what happens. This king's son's killed, and this guy gets kidnapped here, and the players are thrown in jail here, and all these wonderful plotted out moments. Uh, I did that DMing my first couple campaigns. But the recent set I'm DMing right now, I'm currently DMing three different campaigns in the same world. I kind of let go of the reins of the story. Like, I'll give you spell it, or rather, give you an easy first out of the gate example. My the first group I started in this world, I had this great storyline for this civil war that's going to happen, and they were going to be on the front lines as these soldiers in the trenches of this war, and seeing these enemies across the border, and it's these people they don't necessarily hate, but they're kind of trained to hate, and they have to go out and fight, and then find out these shadow forces are manipulating this war. And yeah, I thought it was going to be very, very, very interesting and very fun from the angle that I inserted them in the world at. And I put them as soldiers inside a military fortress that's attacked by saboteurs, or people who sabotage the fortress and, bring it to rubble. And the players, are then on the front lines of this big conflict uh, without, the place to retreat back to of all right, well, where do we go from here? And I thought it would be a very interesting way to let them just sandbox around in this world and loosely follow the storyline of this region. And what ended up happening, as it always does, one of the greatest parts about just storytelling in D&D in general is I had this idea, put them in the world, turned it over to them, and they say as a DM you'll prepare 90% of the content for the night, and or you'll prepare 100% of the content for the night, and the players will only experience 10% of that before they go off the rails and go do their own thing, which awesome. And in that, my first few sessions, I was kind of struggling, like trying to pull them back onto, the storyline of just like, hey guys, at least see what's happening before, you run off. And what I enjoy, is different from what other people enjoy. I guess everybody's going to be slightly different. And about the third or fourth session, I just threw up my hands. I was like, you know what? Whatever you guys want to do, go ahead and do it. And I was just DMing characters, DMing NPCs specifically that had goals and agendas that they wanted to do, and putting them in front of the players and letting the players react with their players' own goals and agendas that they wanted, and then seeing how that affected the story from there and just letting it play out. And people create tension when they're together. That's just in general, even if you're on the same side or if you're on opposite sides. And I thought that was hyper interesting. It's kind of the strategy I've been going about DMing now onwards, and it has been one of the most rewarding strategies of storytelling that I've just ever encountered. And I think I'll go a little bit deeper into that and break it down, because these are just thoughts and vlogs. So when I'm on that subject of just letting loose the reins of the story, rather than planning everything out in depth, I think the most interesting part of stories are the characters. And those characters will all have goals. From the most complex character you create to the simplest character you create, they will have goals. What's the farmer want to do? What's the king want? What's the assassin want? What do any of them want? They all have goals. There's something they want. And it's much more interesting for storytelling when you put these two characters into a situation where each character has a goal. They both have different goals. And they're now in this situation together. How do those two characters then utilize the other for their goals? Do they utilize the other for their goals? Does the story change now that these two people have the potential to pair up? Or and not thinking in a concrete way of this event per se leads to the sparking event that starts the Civil War, and just letting a more intimate story be told of these two characters are both working towards something. This character wants to destroy this kingdom, and this character wants to rule this kingdom. And I guess I'm diving more and more in depth on each one of these little bullet points before I can even get to the next one. I'll give you an example on that. So the group I was just referring to that, was just like, what, you guys do whatever you want. They came to the conclusion that the government of the kingdom they're living in is corrupt, and they need to destroy it and implement a better system that, hey, level 1 characters, it's going to be a big campaign. Anyways, when they finally encounter the one of the main villains of the campaign, it's one of her goals that she needs to get a artifact that's guarded by some of the kingdom's more respected military forces. And in order to get a chance to get at that artifact, she needs to throw the kingdom into chaos to destabilize that force so she can get there. And so on her roadmap to her goals, one of the things she's going to be doing is destroying the government and leaving it in chaos. So the players who now care very deeply about this kingdom come into conflict with her. And the original idea was, hey, here's your villain. And the blind side to me as a DM that I thought was very interesting that happened is, of course, they're just like, well, she wants to destroy the government, and we're not a big fan of the government, so we can work together for now. And they struck up an alliance with her, which, hey, I'm all for, because now the story has turned in ways that I couldn't possibly predict. And maybe I'll do a campaign blog of their campaign so far, just so you guys can kind of understand the breadth of the story I was trying to tell, where it's at now, and where it's going. I don't think I'm going to let this video get longer than 12 minutes. So let's see if I can go back and summarize what I've said so far. Release the reins of your story. Don't chokehold it. Characters are the most important part of your story, and every character should have a goal. You get the most interesting tension when you put two characters with different goals into the same situation and see how they rub together and make friction, or they don't make friction. And I think you'll get a much more organic and natural and intimate story if you plot from character first rather than events that you want to happen in the story. And whew, hey, there we go. Look at that. That's 11 minutes. All right, so I will end there and say thank you for watching. I'm still unemployed, so we'll likely be shooting another one of these videos tomorrow. We stream our campaigns. If you do want to watch any of those D&D sessions, you can just probably find them all over this channel. I do stuff occasionally. I got a Twitter, don't tweet on it. Got an Instagram, don't post photos. I do have a Facebook, and I call people racist on it. You can add me on that. Sure. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace.